I'm dontaetmuse, author of Tripping Over Canvases, How to Open Your Own Art Gallery with No Experience, and art director here at Above Art Studios, located at 55 Moore Street, downtown New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Welcome to this episode of the Art Life Podcast. Today we are here with a very special guest. We have with us Darla Diaz. She is the Supervisor of Fine Visual and Performing Arts in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Thank you for joining us today, Darla.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate it. It's not, too often we get to be in, the presence of royalty. So we wanted to go ahead and of it as we could. And get to know a little bit about you, what it is that you do. Being that you are one of the main art administrators in the city, how did you end up being the Supervisor of Fine Visual and Performing Arts?
So I started out in New Brunswick actually as a music teacher. So I'm a musician, I'm a singer. So I taught general music and choir in New Brunswick public schools for many years. And then I actually transitioned to arts integration specialist within the district. And that's when I really started engaging in all the arts disciplines and working with the classroom teachers and fellow arts teachers to integrate the arts in core content. And then I transitioned again to Supervisor of Fine Visual and Performing Arts, all within New Brunswick.
That is, like, at first, I think every city needs to have that last position that you were in, where they're trying to include arts in the regular core curriculum. Like, that's amazing. So many places trying to take arts out, remove them. That's big. It kind of made me wish I went to school in New Brunswick, but I don't know.
Me too.
Originally, you're not from here?
No, so I'm actually from upstate New York, and it was a very rural area. And I'm always, so appreciative of the arts-rich culture that New Brunswick has, the diversity that they have, because I grew up in really the opposite, and I was really hungry for those experiences. So now, being able to collaborate with partnerships and artists like yourself, it's really amazing, and it really is a great place to work, and the arts flourish here, and I'm so grateful that our students have these opportunities as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I gotta go back just a little bit, because I heard you mention you're a musician. What instruments do you play?
I am. So primarily I'm a vocalist. Choir is like my happy place. I think it's just so beautiful that so many people can make one voice, and just being kind of in the middle of that humongous sound is such an amazing experience. But I dabble a little bit with, the instruments as well. I've taught, beginning band, so I can do a little bit here and there, but definitely singing is my strong suit and something that I love to do.
The vocalist. So are you more like Celine Dion or like a Keisha Cole or Beyonce or something like that?
I like to do it all, but I was classically trained, so I did a little bit of like operatic singing, choral singing, solo singing. So a little. Don't ask me to sing right now, but a little bit of everything.
I'm gonna ask you later. It's not on camera.
Yes.
That's nice. So when did you start singing?
Oh my goodness. I feel like, I've always gravitated towards the arts just because it was a place I felt very safe. And it's amazing that you can be, an independent artist and really find your identity and your confidence within an arts world and community that's really supportive. And you start to learn how to take that constructive critique and really make it, something to improve yourself. But singing, I think I sang, as long as I can remember. I have a distinct memory, maybe like in upper elementary school of, maybe like a choir teacher recognizing, I think you should try out for this like extracurricular choir. And those educators that really sought that out in me really made me want to be an educator, because I felt like wow, I'm being noticed for something so positive, and I'm finding people who are like-minded, and I'm really finding like confidence in who I am, and I wanted to help other students feel that way as well. So that's why I went into the education world, and music education specifically, or arts education.
Seems like it fits you well. When was
Absolutely.
the last time you performed outside of the shower?
Say that one more time.
When was the last time you performed?
Oh, the last time I performed. Now I gotta think back a little bit, but I'm sure it was, you know, in the schools. I mean, whenever we are rehearsing students, I love to just jump in and be a part of that as well. So I have a feeling it was definitely, you know, one part of my day, even if I'm like walking by a classroom, I will jump in, I will play the recorder, I will, you know, anything, anything to get, you know, to get that joy, because it's amazing and it's all around us. And we're doing an amazing job, even virtually, you know, continuing that joy and rigor in music education, arts education. We have dance, theater, you know, visual arts. So that's really continuing seamlessly in New Brunswick. So I'm really grateful for that as well.
Soprano?
Yes, I'm like an alto soprano. I could do both.
Okay. Yeah, I sang a tone or two before puberty hit, so that was about it. Choir like 1 year in middle school, and voice change, and it was rap.
Oh, yeah.
Developed a radio voice and a radio face, so that came from there. As everything had happened, you know, with the pandemic and everything, and you mentioned that you're still doing a good job, you know, with the arts and everything virtually. What differences do you feel or notice between not actually, you know, getting to be there, kind of hands-on or with the students? Like, is the momentum the same? Is creativity, you know, more or less? I mean, I think me personally, as an artist, I've actually been able to be more creative in these times. And I think that's because other voices have, you know, got quieter or slowed down and stopped. And not that I really have less responsibility, so to speak, but I find larger gaps of time in between different things to where I can actually buckle down and create or do something, versus before I was kind of all over the place trying to get, you know, everything done now. Have you noticed any differences between now and then?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the arts are an amazing healer. And I think, you know, we don't have words to explain how we feel. You know, we turn to the arts, we turn to ways to express ourselves. So I feel like the pandemic and you know, feeling that isolation, especially in the beginning of not having, you know, not being able to really interact with people other than virtually, which was very new for us. You know, I feel like we really tapped into like that social emotional aspects of the arts and being able to express ourselves and really giving students the freedom to choose like which pathways they want to express themselves in. So I would say I agree. Like, I think creativity definitely deepened, and just, you know, being in touch with how we feel and being able to express it. And really not being limited. I feel like that's something that really changed during the pandemic, of kind of reinventing and think about how we think about the arts in a traditional sense. And, you know, the arts have changed over centuries of time as society has changed with us, right? All our cultures, how has it expanded and organically morphed? And so this was a big pivot for us too, of like, okay, the arts need to be this right now for us, and how are we going to engage in that? And the virtual choirs and the, you know, amazing art galleries that we've done virtually, you know, seeing our students dance and move organically, how they feel. You know, I think we definitely started to think outside the box even more than we already did. So I would say those were the big shifts and welcome shifts. I'm excited because I feel like, you know, the sky's the limit, right? Like, our minds are just keep expanding, you know, as we kind of move through this new time.
So, did you ever want to be a professional artist?
You know, I always, from, you know, a very young age, wanted to be an educator. And then I think when I started really developing my artistic skill and having, you know, artists around me, I kind of had the idea of like, wait, why don't I put these two things together? And I was so passionate about both, you know, and I'm so lucky that I had the opportunity to really pursue like music education. And then, you know, that kind of developed into, okay, how am I going to look at all of the art forms? And, you know, and teach students, help teach students have, you know, the fundamentals of the art forms, and then how they connect, you know, to other content areas, and have, you know, we're really lucky to have so many opportunities that are career-based learning opportunities for students, so that they can have those same ideas of, oh, wait, I can do this too, you know, in my own way. I can pursue this as a career. So yeah, I kind of married them together.
It literally sounds like something might not even exist, or maybe not to your knowledge at the moment, but you were like, this is exactly what I want to do, and then it found you. Like, that's, I need to write down what it is I want to do. So
yes, those affirmations.
yeah, definitely get that coming in.